played fairly well. We were able to get a lot of players some quality work, got some young guys that are inexperienced on video, and so really good tape for us to teach with. I thought the guys that we would want to play well, the marquee guys, played well, and made a few strides running the ball. How much better we're at it, I'm not sure. It looks like to me we're a little better at it, but certainly can't cancel practice. Thought the defense played well. Gave up, I think, one pass play, and I think the ones just gave up maybe, well, I don't think they gave up any points. So overall, I thought we played pretty well. We were able to use several kickers and work on special teams there. We asked them to come out and play well early and take the game over, and they did that. So let them enjoy this one tonight with their family, and then go to work tomorrow and get ready for Central Michigan.
Mike, you mentioned your run game, looking pretty good. It seemed like the body language was there. Guys running hard, running through tackles. Was that as important as anything when assessing that group?
Well, when you've struggled as much as we have the last 2 years running the ball, you need to, one, make sure we're sound, covering guys up, blocking, creating holes, and running hard. And so I think they've taken some pride in that. And I had mentioned in the press conference last week that we'll know a lot more at the end of the month. We'll know a lot more about where we are there. But I think we have taken some strides. We have some other guys playing. We have some flexibility to rotate some linemen, which may help us. We'll see as we move forward.
What was the thought behind putting the starters back in the second half?
Just to start the game out the right way. Honestly, we let everybody play at the end of the first half, and then when you start the second half, for the fans and just for the mojo, you just want to kind of get the guys out there and get it started, and then you can take them back out.
Mike, you've obviously heard the name Barry Sanders on the PA system here before, but to hear it again today and then see how Barry J played, what were your thoughts on him today?
Well, it was pretty neat. We all thought about him making plays, and he's been tremendous. And a lot of pressure on him, unjustified, but whatever, it's the world we live in. And it was good that he could make some runs, break some tackles, make some guys miss, and then obviously on the punt return. His dad returned a punt against somebody out here, and about that part on the field, and it looked a lot like that. He ended up going down the boundary, but Junior made 3 or 4 guys miss, so he's been solid back there and trustworthy, and there's a role for him for what he does for our team.
You obviously have some choices in punt return with McCleskey and some other guys, but he looks very fluid in that situation. What have you seen out of him, and what do you like in his punt return?
Well, as I mentioned, he's been reliable in catches. They get a lot of them during the week and in preseason, and he receives the ball well. He's intelligent, and he's mature. He's been durable, so he understands the circumstances. And we need other guys instead of McCleskey being back there all the time. So it's good that he's able to get some quality work. We have a couple other guys that we wanted to get in. We had number conflicts at the end of the game because we were letting everybody play, and some guys we wanted to get back there had the same number as guys that we had on the field. But I was happy with what Junior brought to the table today.
Still taking credit for special teams because there was a lot of big plays on special teams today.
Well, I take the credit for Junior's run on the punt return. That was my call. No, Coach Hauser does a great job. We've been very lucky that we've had young coaches that have come in here and take our special teams over, and great commitment and dedication to what they do. Very intelligent guys. So Hauser did a nice job. He had the hardest job today. When you start subbing in kickoff and punt return and all, once we get ahead, and we had 10 guys on the field one time on a punt return, and we had some change-ups in there in punt, and we called a protection wrong and got one tipped. But for the most part, he's done a great job.
The first touchdown on their botched punt return, good way to get sort of the day slingshotted forward.
Well, you always want to start these games fast. And we know that we're a more talented team. Everybody understands that. But you want to make sure that you start fast. You don't want to get put to sleep. You don't want to be the one that turns the ball over and then hit you on a big play, and then it just starts different. And in games like this, that's the concern that I've always had as a coach. I want to start the game the right way and take control because we're the more talented team, we're the better team, and make sure that everybody knows that, and we play the game that way. and they did what we asked them to do in this game.
Mike, Reed didn't stop there. I mean, your defense set up either directly or indirectly 6 of your scores today.
Yeah, they were good. They we forced some turnovers and played really well on special teams, and then Devontae had an unbelievable play on a fumble. He stripped the ball himself and then tossed it back, and so. It's important for us to get turnovers and make plays on defense. And in the game we play in today, in today's time, offensive football, it's not as easy to run the ball. You have to get big plays and force turnovers on defense.
You mentioned all the young guys who got a chance to play today. How much of that was a goal coming into the game to get enough of a cushion to get some of those, especially the second team defensive guys out there?
That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to get everybody in the game, and we have a number of guys that need to play because at some point during the conference, they're going to be in the game. And they need work. They need to get out there, and the newness needs to wear off. They need to make mistakes, make corrections, and find a way to play better the next week.
Mason's final play when he kind of ducked out of 3 different tackles, what were you thinking as you watched that one unfold?
Well, it was a good play. He made 2 really good plays, and you can tell that he's lost weight and he's thinned up and he's a little more mobile. We'll see how we progress through against defenses that are more talented at times, but I thought he moved around well. I thought he threw the ball well. He had a couple drops, so overall I thought he had a good day.
Mike, what can you tell us about Max Allen, the walk-on kicker that you had out there today? What was it about him that made you want to give him a few shots out there to kick deep?
When we had tryouts, he kicked it in the end zone, and I mean that's really what it comes down to. He was nervous a couple times and bladed a couple, just like Philly did today. But Philly's got a good leg. He needs to settle down. He'll be fine. We'll keep working him. But Max has been really good in practice and kicking the ball really deep. And so that's an important part of what we do. And so he's a freshman, but it doesn't matter. If they can do that, they're going to play.
Are you going to sort of keep trotting these guys out and just see how they do in non-conference?
We worked, competed, and Amendola won the job. But now we're going to use both guys because Max did a really good job kicking today. So we'll let them compete during the week, but we need both of them. They're both young. We'll keep working them. And it's really nice to have some guys that have the ability to reach the ball to the end zone.
Mike, when you went pretty heavily second-string offensive line, it seemed like there was, at least for a time, some confusion. I don't know if things moved around or if those guys got more comfortable. But what did you see as the day went on with using some of those reserves?
Early, there was a lot of confusion. They started moving their defensive linemen and lining guys up wide and stunting inside. And for an offensive lineman, that's the toughest thing to handle. It takes a lot of maturity to understand that. And once we put the younger guys in, or inexperienced guys, they understood that. They started really moving guys. And as it went on, they got a little better. And so that's the benefit of getting your starters out as soon as possible and letting some young guys play.
Juwan Seals played today, Mike. A lot of questions with Aitman gone. It looked like maybe he's the guy.
Made some plays, sure did. He's a guy that we're going to count on. He's experienced and can run, and he has a knack for making those catches like he did today. McCleskey needs to make plays. James will make plays. There's a group there that we need to carry us through. Lacey was injured, so we didn't play him today. He should be fine by Monday. But that group needs to come through because as we progress and improve in the running game, we're going to have to be good at throwing it.
What did you learn about your team today?
I think that we have some depth across the board. Again, we'll know a lot more in a month, which is good. We have a number of guys who can make plays. I think Mason, his body's in really good shape. He moved around. As they mentioned, I think our running backs have a little bit of chip on their shoulder, and they're running the ball more aggressive than they have been. And we've got some speed on defense, and the guys seem like they run pretty well. I have to look at the tape to see where we got out of position on 2 or 3 run plays. They hit us up the middle. I'm not sure if a defensive lineman got out of his gap or a linebacker didn't get in his gap. That's pretty much where we're at.
On the reverse of that question, was there anything that you were hoping to learn today that you didn't, just based on how things played out early with the big lead?
Well, when the young line was in, or the inexperienced guys, we had too many penalties. I think we had 3 holding at the end of the game when those guys were in, and we don't want that to happen. Okay, we have to eliminate penalties. That was the one area that I wasn't real happy about.
Lacey didn't play and Brailford didn't either. What's the update on Jordan Brailford?
He should be back practicing this week.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, guys, thanks.
Thank you.